Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Elizabeth with Live, Craft, and Love. Today I'm here to share with you part 2 of my Celebrate Autumn design team project, Gatefold mini album. Today we're going to be working on page construction and actually page 1 and 2. So to start things off, you are going to need some cardstock, and you're going to need 4 pieces that measure 8.5 by 6. And I've already pre-cut them just so that way I won't drag this, tutorial on forever. I know the other one was almost an hour long, so I don't want to do that to you guys. So you're going to need 4 pieces of 8.5 by 6. And you're going to need 4 pieces at 7.5 by 6. Now the 8.5 by 6 piece, you're going to line that up on the 8.5 inch side. And you're going to score at 1/2. Oops. Score that at 1/2, turn it, and score it at 1/2 on the other side. Okay, and you're going to go ahead and crease on that fold and line up those pieces with some score tape, or you can use some wet adhesive like art glitter glue or whatever adhesive that you have. I prefer score tape for this. I am going to eventually try art glitter glue because I heard that it was amazing on it. So yeah, I'm going to trim that a little bit there. Okay, so then go ahead and varnish your score tape. And let's go ahead and take the tape backing off just a little bit. Get your 7.5 inch paper, and you're going to line that up nice and straight. Push that down, keep this held, and pull your score tape out just like so. And you're going to repeat on the next side. So let's pull that score tape, backing to the side. Push this down really nice and flat. Stick that down and pull. And now this is your base for your page. Now for some reason, some of the cardstocks are not all the same size. So if you do have some, leftover piece hanging out, go ahead and trim that off. No big deal. Now, to save time, I already went ahead and I did the other 4, but go ahead and repeat this step 3 more times so you construct 4 pages. Once you do that, the first thing you're going to do is create some pockets on the inside flap of your album. So when you open this up, this is the flap that I'm talking about on the left side. So we're going to have a pocket here, and then a pocket right above that. We're going to have a double pocket. So what you're going to need for that is 2 pieces. One is measuring 6.5 by 3.5, and then the other one is 6.5 by 2.5. Now I am going to use my edge punch for this, so if you can give me 1 second, let me go ahead and grab it. I'm going to be using my Martha Stewart edge punch, which I was gifted by a dear friend. And I'm going to go ahead and punch the edges like so. Now I am not all that great when it comes to edge punching, guys. I haven't done this very much as far as using edge punches, so sometimes they come out all wonky on me. So I will do my best. Okay, there you go. And so on the corners, I'm just going to miter that corner and cut that little edge piece off. Same thing here. Cut that edge piece and miter this corner. Just like so. And repeat for this one. Not too bad. Now, if you don't have an edge punch, you can skip, by all means, you can skip this step. This is not necessary. This is just going to add a little bit more detail to your project. But, I mean, I just got these edge punches like a week or so ago, so trust me, it's not a big deal if you don't have one. Okay, let me get this mess out of the way. And you are going to line these up with your score tape. I hope I'm in frame. Let me move my board over here again. And you're going to line these up with score tape just like so. And I know on one of my previous videos, I had asked everyone, like, if you had ever crafted with acrylic nails or and stuff, and I was ranting and raving how I haven't gone to the salon and everyone's nails look so pretty. So yeah, I actually got the time, made time for myself, and I went to the salon. Check this out. So pretty. They're rose gold with glitter. I mean, you can't have too much glitter in your life, y'all. Okay, so now we're going to miter the corners here, just like so. And the same thing. Well, no, this one we can just go ahead and leave like that. And make sure we varnish these edges really well. Okay, so now we're ready to attach our pockets. And since I already matted my album, I don't have to worry about having to mat it. So I'm going to adhere this edge punch right here. I mean the edge punch. Oh my gosh. This pocket. Pull that out, stick that down. And yeah, no, acrylic nails don't make it a lot easier, guys. They just look prettier. Okay, so I'm going to adhere this down, make sure it's all the way to the edge where the design paper. Now, I want to make sure that I do not cover this score line right here, or else my album is not going to close properly. So I need to make sure that I'm properly lined up here at the bottom, not covering right at the edge of that score line. Just like so. There we go. Perfect. And varnish that really well. And then this is going to get tucked right in here. Just like that. I mean, I could put it here, but no. I want it to line up with this right here, right underneath that edge punch. See that? Pull that down and line it up, and perfect. Now here you're going to need two photo mats. One small photo mat is going to be 5x4, and the other one's going to be the large photo mat, which is 5x6. The small one is going to get tucked in here, and the large one, you see this one tore. I'm going to have to fix that. Okay, oh well. It'll still look nice. And this one is a 5x6, so that one's going to go tucked in right there. So there you go. You have the inside cover already done. All we will have to do later is mat it. Now for our pages. For our pages, like I said, I already pre-cut the items so that way I won't drag the tutorial on forever and a day. So you're going to need one of your pages that you created already. And in the front, we're going to be creating a little mini book that's going to be attached right here with some seam binding. So you're going to need, let's see, I didn't write, oh, there you go, there. You're going to need 4 pieces of cardstock that measures 4x5. And let me just double check that my phone is recording, and yes it is. You're going to need 4 pieces that measures 4x5, and you're going to need 3 pieces that measure 1x5. Yeah, 1x5. So you're with these pieces that are measuring 1 by 5, you're going to line them up and you're going to score at 1/2 inch. Okay, on all 3 of them. You're going to fold them in half, apply your score tape, or you can use your wet adhesive if you'd like. And then once you're done with that, you're going to adhere these pages together. Now the folded edge is going to be pointed towards the left-hand side, because these are your hinges that are attaching these pages. So you're going to line it up. Oops. Just like so. Where is my bone folder? There it is. And varnish really well. And you're just going to attach the next page. Push off to the side. Line this up. Push that down. There we go. That's 2. Now you're going to repeat the same thing with the other pieces. So make sure that the folded edge is facing out. Line it up. Line it up. There you go. Push this down so that way it's lined up really well. And there you go. Super. It is perfect. There we go. Now I'm going to do the same thing here. Pull my tape backing off. Line up this corner. I hope I'm in frame. Kind of hard to do this at this angle. Okay, push that down. Make sure this is lined up really well. Push down. Grab your tape, and there you go. Furnish it again, and now you have 3 pages. You need 1 more. Pull this down. Again, folded edge to the outside. Here we go. Push that down. Excuse me. Now, the reason, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but my voice is a little louder than normal when I'm usually do a recording, and that's simply because I am not recording for the first time ever. I am not recording at midnight. Yay for me. I am not recording at midnight. I'm actually recording at like 8 in the morning. And I'm being really loud because my kiddos are off to school, my husband's at work, and my little one is at daycare. So I am actually home alone. I figured I was able to use this time I have today off from work. It's a miracle, I know. But I'm going to use it to the best of my ability to get everything that I needed to get done. Okay, so now I'm going to use seam binding to make sure, as I'm going to use this as a closure. So I'm going to just use this beautiful chocolate brown color seam binding. I'm going to measure it to make sure I have enough room to make my bow. I'm horrible at bows also, so I usually give myself a good amount of leeway. Okay, so I'm thinking about there. Oh my gosh, I lost my scissors. Oh, they're there. Cut that there. And I'm going to make sure it's nice and even before I adhere. Now, before you adhere this, you will need your design paper on your page. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my paper. Figure out what design paper I want to use. Now this is going to be on my front. This is my front page right here. So I want to make sure it correlates very well with that paper. And I'm thinking I'm going to use this. Or the green. Actually, no. I think I'm going to go ahead and use this. Yeah. I'm going to use this beautiful paper right here, Acorns and Leaves. Okay, so I'll put this off to the side. Now, this, if I'm not mistaken, I remember it measuring 6 by 7.5. So the rule of thumb when it comes to matting your papers, whatever size, or the way I do it, whatever size your paper that you're matting is, you reduce it by 1/4 inch. Okay, so that's how I usually cut mine. So if this is 6 by 7.5, I'm going to cut a piece that measures 5 3/4 by 7 1/4. So this is going to be 5 3/4. And by 7 1/4. And this is going to go perfectly right here. But before I do that, I am going to distress my edges with this distressed ink called Ground Espresso. And I love distressing the edges, not so much, I mean, I know this paper is already brown, but you see how the I don't know if you can pick that up, but the side of the paper is white. And to give it that finish where it doesn't look like you just cut into your paper, I don't know, it just gives it more of a beautiful look, if you ask me, especially if the paper is not brown. Here I'm just doing it to kind of cover up these cut edges and giving it a good, nice finished look. And I'm not the best at distressing edges, guys, so please, by all means, if you have any other suggestions on how to distress your edges of your pages, please leave them in the comments below. I love learning new techniques from people. You know, I do not know it all. Okay, so this is going to go here, and then these are going to go right on top. And I don't know, since this is dark brown, I'm thinking maybe I should go along using either this white or this red. And I'm thinking I'm going to go with the beige. I'll use this in another spot. Okay, then I grab my glue. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to grab my brown and I'm going to measure it to the beige. And go ahead and cut it. There we go. Now, let me go ahead and adhere this paper . I love that sound. That sound to me is so relaxing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get that settled in. There we go. Give it a good burnish. And now attach my little booklet to the back. Make sure it's in half. Just like so. Flip it over and make sure that I line this up right in the middle. Just like that. And now I'm going to cover the back portion with glue. Nice and attached. Later on we will go ahead and mat these, and now the mat for these is going to measure 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. So it's 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. That's the size of the mats for this little book, and this is going to go just like so. Really cute, huh? Okay, so now the back is going to have 2 gatefold kind of closures, and we are going to use magnets for this. So they're going to have 2 flaps that measure like that, and a little flap that folds down with a pocket on the back, just like that. So you're going to need 2 pieces that measures 4 1/2 by 7, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch. So on the 4 1/2 sides, once you cut it, on the 4 1/2 side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch. Fold it back, varnish it really well, make sure it's a really good crease, and attach your score tape. I went ahead and used my corner chomper to give this scalloped little punch look on the corners. You don't have to, but that's what I did. And you're going to need two pieces that measure 4.5 by 7. So the same thing here, you're going to score it 1/2 inch, fold it, varnish it, attach your score tape. The next piece that you're going to need is going to measure 6 by 4.5. And on the 4.5 inch side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch. Fold it, varnish it really well. Make sure there's a crease. Attach your score tape on the flap. And the last piece you're going to need is going to measure 7.5 by 2.5. And on the 2.5 inch side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch. Turn it, score at 1/2 inch, turn it, and score at 1/2 inch. So you're going to have 1/2 inch on 3 sides. The top edge, you can either go ahead and do an edge punch like I did, or not. You can leave it alone. I went ahead and did not attach score tape to these, just so that way I can do it with you guys on camera. Attach score tape. Make sure you varnish it, just like so. And this is going to get attached to the opposite end of this flap. You're going to attach it right here, just like so. Okay? So before that, you're going to miter the corners on the pocket, just like that. Pull this out. Pull that out. And now you're left with the little pocket. Make sure it's lined up to the bottom of this little flap right here, just like that, and varnish it down. So this is going to be a little pocket for some tiny tags or ephemera or whatnot. So now on the opposite end of your page, make sure that you're on the bottom side. You flip this over. This bottom half, you're going to attach this sheet right here before attaching these two. Okay, so let's take the tape backing off. Come on. There we go. I always like doing this. I attach it this way and make sure it's lined up, and fold that over, and there I go. There is my flap with my little pocket on the bottom. Now I'm going to attach these two now to the side. So I'll take my tape backing off. Again, line it up to the edge of the sheet. Make sure that you do not go over this score line, because if you do, then that flap will not close. Just like so. Just like that. You could have mitered your corners a little bit, which, you know what? That's okay. I'll go ahead and do it on the next page. You can miter your corners a bit, so that way you don't have to worry about, being there. I just pulled that off. Let me put some glue. Okay, so now with this one, let's go ahead and miter our corners. I completely forgot to tell you guys that. And it's all right for that one. So let's cut the edges right here. That way it's easier for us to attach it. Pull this off. Now this side. Right at the edge, just like so. And, oops, varnish these pieces really well. And there you go. We are done with the construction of page 1. Okay guys, sorry about that. My phone ran out of battery again. Horrible, I know. Anyway, so this is the last thing that we did. Now I did make an adjustment to this because I saw that when I would close this over, since this does have a pocket, it's kind of a little on the chunky side and it wasn't closing all the way. So what I did is I just lined up my score line where this entire thing folds like this. I lined it, oh my god, I lined it up. And I went ahead and scored 1/8 of an inch farther out, giving it 1/8 of an inch gusset. If you all can see right there. Okay guys, sorry about that. My phone is giving me a lot of issues today. I really apologize. So anyway, as I was saying, so long as you do that 1/8 inch gusset, you are good. And then after that, all I did was I adhered 2 of the magnets here on the bottom. And I put double-sided sticky tape on both ends so that way it closes. Now the back, this is page 1. Now to move on to page 2, you are going to need a piece, and I already glued it because again, I thought that my phone was recording, but you're going to need a piece that measures 8 1/8 by 4. And on the 8 1/8 inch side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and then 1/2 inch, and make sure all 3 of those pieces are folded in. You're also going to need 4 pieces that measure 4 by 4. I mean, sorry, 3 pieces that measure 4 by 4. And all I did before my camera went berserk on me again, all I did is I glued 1 piece of 4 by 4 to every piece, 1/2 inch piece that I scored. So like this is glued onto the first side, this is glued onto the second piece, and this is glued onto the third piece, and then it folds over just like this. So it creates a little waterfall effect. Now, you are going to be adhering this like so, excuse me. So before you do that, you will need to mat for sure your page, this piece that measures 2 by 6, and then this bottom piece of your waterfall for sure. The 4 by 4 pieces you don't have to mat right now. So I'm going to put pause on my camera real quick, cut the pieces that I will need to mat. Now again, 1/4 inch of a difference. So you would need this at 5 3/4 by 7 1/4. For this one, you would need it at 1 3/4 by 5 3/4 for the strip. And for this long piece, it measures about 6 5/8. So you would need a piece that measures 6 3/8 by 3 3/4. So I'm going to go ahead and pause, get my design paper cut up, and then we will put this side of the page together. Okay, y'all, I'm back. I have already matted my page. I matted the strip, and I matted the back page. So now before we go ahead, in order to attach this, I am going to punch 2 holes using my chomper right at the edge, because I'm going to be adhering some decorative brads to this. And this is the reason why I bought this package. And you can also pick this up at countrycraftcreations.com. They have these beautiful brads that match and correlate with the collection itself. And I believe I am going to be using, since this is orange, I'm going to be using these 2 burnt orange colors. If not, maybe even these 2 gemstones. We'll see how they look. So let's see. Pull these out like so. And these are going to go stuck in right there. Oops, I opened it. Just like that. Perfect. Now in the back, I am going to attach some score tape, just so that way it, you know, hold on to it a little bit better. If I can just find the part where this starts. Here we go. Okay. And this is going to go just like that. Now you're going to have to kind of eyeball where you want this to land. Now I do want to be able to see a border on the top and on the bottom, and your last little 4x4 has to overlay your strip. So I say it's about like right about there, I think would be a good spot for it. So I'm going to go ahead and it's going to be at this white mark. So I'm going to take off my score tape. And I'm going to make sure that all I do is glue the two edges of my paper to the page. So put glue on the edges, and it's like one, I said it was the second, oops, make sure it's right side up, second line, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that just like so. Okay, now your waterfall, you're going to go ahead and slip that in. You are not going to glue that page. What you're going to do is you're going to glue this page to it. So right there, I'm saying that that's pretty much aligned right in the middle. So I'm going to add glue to this middle part and fold this over, make sure it's straight. And there you go. Glue this down. So when I pull this, now you have a little interactive waterfall. So there you go. So now here I am going to add, I'd say a brad, just so that way it can look a little bit more decorative. And I say I'm going to use this leaf one. No, maybe a larger one, a fox, this beautiful fox. This one right here. It matches with the strip. I'm going to use this one, this beautiful brad right here. And I'm just going to attach it here, just so that way it is somewhat of a decorative piece. Now if you want to, you can, which I will probably do it later. I'm going to mat this so that way it has, one, the brad gets covered, and two, there's not like, you can't really see it. So there you go. That is my first part of page 2. Now the back part. And the back part, all it's going to have is a side pocket with a little mini book, just kind of like what we did in the first page, except this is going to be loose. We can actually pull it out. So you're going to need one piece that measures 3.5 by 8.5, and this page you are going to score, let me move my mess, you're going to score it 1/2 inch on the 8.5 inch side, flip it, score it again at 1/2 inch, and then turn it. And on the 3.5 inch side, you're going to score it through at 1/2 inch. And you're going to make sure that you fold on your score marks and attach score tape to all 3 sides. You're also going to need 4 pieces that measure 4 by 6. And you are going to have 3 pieces that measure 6 by 1 inch. Each of these 3 pieces, you're going to score it 1/2 inch. Fold in half and put score tape on both sides, just like we did with the other little booklet. Okay, now go ahead. I'm going to give you some time to go ahead and do that while I add some score tape to my pocket, and I'll be right back. Okay everyone, I'm back, and I apologize again. I don't know what's been going on with my camera. It loses memory and it's not even full. Let me fix the lighting here. So I have no idea what's going on. So the last thing that I remember seeing that we went over is we did this pull down waterfall, and we're working on the back side of our page 2. I did say that you needed one piece that was 3.5 by 8.5, and you were to score on 3 sides at 1/2 inch. Also, you were to get 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces that were 4 by 6, and 3 pieces that were 6 by 1 and scoring them down the middle and placing score tape on the edges, on both sides, I'm sorry. We're going to be making a booklet, and we're going to be adhering a pocket to the side. So this is how the page is going to be. So it's going to open this way, and we have to decide which side we want our pocket on. But before that, let's go ahead. I'm going to use my Martha Stewart edge punch here, and I'm going to go ahead and punch the edges. And we're going to go ahead and place score tape on the sides of our flaps, just like so, and then we will miter our corners from here and miter our corner here, miter our corner there and there. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and take off the tape backing. Now before, I completely forgot, before we add on our pocket, we do have to mat our paper. So let me go ahead and get my, my paper trimmer, and I'll be right back. Okay, now so I'm back, and in order, we are going to need a piece that measures 5 3/4 by 7 1/4. So I need to make sure that this right here is what 7 1/4, because it is pattern paper that has a direction. So 7 1/4 by 5 1/4, right? No, 5 3/4. Ooh, I'm glad I didn't cut that one. So this is 5 3/4 right there, and that's going to fit perfectly right here. I'm going to get my distressing and ground espresso, and I'm going to go ahead and ink the edges to give it that good finish, and then I would adhere. I'm going to go ahead and glue that on there with my art glitter glue, and then add my pocket. Now this one, you can tell a little bit more that you're inking the edges because it does have that white on that paper, so that's why I'm kind of being a little bit more intentional with rubbing this pad on it. Now again, like I said, I'm not the best inker in the world, so okay, let me go ahead and grab my glitter glue, and we will go ahead and start gluing. Put this down. This paper is so pretty. I just have trouble figuring out what side I'm going to use where. So I need to make sure this is the correct. Line it up like so. Sure it's nice and straight. Burnish with your bone folder. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add my pocket, and I'm going to add this pocket to the left of my page. So stick this down. I always take the tape backing off the first one, the bottom flap, and then I kind of like attach the other 2 flaps to it to give it that pocket. Now I will go ahead and line it up against the edge of the page. Make sure it's lined up nice and evenly. Just like so. Burnish the sides. Now it's a little wonky or like lumpy because of the brad, so if you're seeing that, that's about it. Okay, so here is our pocket. So this is a page. It's going to turn over here as a pocket. Now we're going to attach and create our little booklet. Move this out of the way. And just like we created the other one, we're going to do the same thing here. Folded edge to the left, and then attach the page to the edge of this folded edge, like so. burnish it nice and good. Now, if there is some little excess sticking out, it's okay. You can just trim that off. Now, take the tape backing off here. Line up my next page to it. I'm sorry if I'm off, completely off camera right there. I did not realize if I was. Okay, line that up. Burnish it nice and good. Now it's time to do the other. Line it up like this. Line up the rest. Keep it nice and firm. And remove the tape backing and push down. Pull this backing off like so. Line it up. Keep it pressed down, and there we go. One more page. Oops, I'm starting off from the bottom here. Line it up. Keep it nice and pressed. Oh, I didn't take it all off. There we go. And one more. Pressed and peel off the backing, and there we go, just like so. Now this is going to end up getting tucked in here or tucked in here. You can do the option of getting like a seam binding. Let's see, I have a little piece of brown. I don't know if it's big enough, but let's say I want to attach a seam binding to close this book, which I probably will. And then when it ties up, it'll tie up out here on the side. And let me just show you how it's going to look when it's tucked into the book. So let's say it's already adhered, it's tied, decorative paper. Take this in there, and there you go, just like that. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Before I add any type of pattern paper, I'm going to go ahead and attach the seam binding so that way it's already there. I'm going to line this up in the middle and attach it with my glitter glue. There we go. Flip this over, make sure it's nice and aligned, and pull that nice and tight, and there we go. Oops, my finger got stuck. There we go. Then our pattern paper will go on top of that, and we will be done. Now, since this is 4 by 6, the measurements for the mats on this little book is going to be 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. And you're going to need 2, 4, 6, 8 pieces of those for this booklet. Okay, so there you go. We have page 1 and 2 completed for our mini album. So let me show you again. This is page 1 with the little booklet. We turn it over. This is page 2. I mean the back of page 1, I'm sorry, with our little pocket here, which I just realized I did not take the tape backing off. So this is the back of page 1, and it's going to be inserted just like so in our album. If I could just get it to open. Just like that. And this is page 2, which is our waterfall, and then our little booklet pocket. And then this is going to be inserted just like this. So there you go. This is page 1 and page 2. So we are done with the first 2 pages. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video so far. I do apologize with all the technical difficulties that I've been having with my camera. I don't know what's been going on with it, but I promise you that the other 2, I'll try and make them as smooth as possible, and I will be getting these tutorials out really quick in the next day or so. So hopefully you enjoyed the first 2 pages of the mini album. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have not done so, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I love each and every one of you so much. And as always, live passionately, craft often, and love endlessly. We'll see you guys next time. Big hug now. Bye-bye.